of the CBK Board and the Monetary Policy Committee, Chief Executive Officers of commercial banks, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor for me to welcome you all to the Central Bank of Kenya. We're also very grateful to His Excellency for finding time to join us on this momentous occasion, which is a culmination of a long journey spanning more than 6 years the CBK has gone through in developing the new, agile, and transformative financial market infrastructure called the Dow CSD. The CBK continues to work closely with the stakeholders to implement strategic reforms that will enhance efficiency and effectiveness in the attainment of its mandates and in pursuit of its vision to be a world-class modern central bank. Your Excellency, as you are aware, the CBK is mandated to formulate, implement monetary policy directed to achieving and maintaining price stability. We are also mandated to foster liquidity, solvency, and proper functioning of an efficient, sound, and stable market-based financial system. On this front, I'm happy to note that despite the negative global developments that have transmitted into the local economy, inflation has now firmly returned to our target range of 5% plus or 2.5%. And this is due to the strong measures that have been taken by the monetary policy of the CBK and the supportive measures by the government to improve food supply across the country, including the provision of subsidized fertilizer. Inflation has declined from a peak of 9.6% in October of 2022 to 6.7% in August 2023, and we expect it to continue moderating in the next few months. This has been mainly due to food inflation from around 16% in September, October of last year to 7.5% in August of this year. Your Excellency, it will be remiss on my part if I did not mention which is usually referred to as inflation targeting. The framework introduces an interest rate corridor set at plus or minus 2.5 percentage points on either side of the CBR. Monetary policy operations to inject or withdraw liquidity are then targeted at ensuring that the interbank rate tracks very closely the CBR rate. And therefore, unlike the situation pertaining before, there is now a direct relationship between the CBK policy rate, the CBR, and commercial banks' interest rates, thereby making the transmission of monetary policy to the economy much more effective. To enhance further the effectiveness of this monetary policy framework, we have also re-energized the overnight discount window at the CBK, which the banks were not using before, by removing bureaucratic procedures and lowering the interest rate charged to banks that access this window by 200 basis points. This window will be available to banks to access liquidity to meet their cash ratio requirements in the event they are unable to obtain liquidity in the interbank market. Ladies and gentlemen, the long journey to the rollout of the Dow CSD has been made possible through a partnership of the CBK, the National Treasury, commercial banks, investment banks, the CMA, the Nairobi Stock Exchange, and the Kenya Revenue Authority, and other stakeholders, including the World Bank and the National Bank of Georgia. In 2016, the National Treasury and the CBK, with the support of the World Bank, initiated the acquisition of a new CSD that would enhance efficiency in government securities operations and introduce automation to foster growth and stability of the financial market. This is aligned with the CBK's strategic focus area of automation and commitment to promoting growth, efficiency, and stability of the financial sector. The DAO CSD that the President is going to launch today went live on July 31st, 2023. It is a versatile financial market infrastructure that will enhance operational efficiency in the domestic debt market and also improve monetary policy transmission and implementation. Players in the Kenya interbank market have already started benefiting from the system, as it has enhanced liquidity distribution, and it has also enabled the CBK to support commercial banks with liquidity when necessary at much lower discount rates in the CBK overnight window. The DAO CSD is therefore expected to promote a well-functioning interbank market, capital market growth, market deepening, expansion of the digital access for broader financial inclusion, and position Kenya as the preferred financial hub in the region. In addition to helping manage systemic risk, the system has improved and automated operations by eliminating paper-based processes. We are delighted to have His Excellency the President launch the DAO CSD at this moment, as it will enable the CBK to more effectively fulfill its dual mandate of ensuring price and financial system stability. With improved monetary policy transmission, our inflation targeting monetary policy framework will be more accurate and the policy actions will be more effective. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to sincerely thank Your Excellency for taking time from your busy schedule to grace this auspicious occasion. I hope, Your Excellency, that very shortly we will be able to again interrupt your busy schedule to come and launch the Emakiba, a product that I know you are very passionate about. Let me also thank all those stakeholders that have been involved in the long and difficult journey of developing the DAO CSD. We are very grateful to the World Bank and the National Bank of Georgia for their invaluable support, and to the National Treasury and all the market participants for their significant contributions to this project. With these few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I now invite the Cabinet Secretary, the National Treasury and Economic Planning, Professor Juguna Dungo, to make his remarks, and thereafter invite the President to make his remarks and to launch the DAO CSD. Welcome, CS.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Cabinet Secretaries that are with me. I have Moses Kuria with me. I'm very happy that, Governor, you have invited me back to the Central Bank. And Deputy Governor, I promise my colleagues that we don't retire, we change clients. I didn't know I would change clients to this extent. Thank you very much, Deputy Governor, the Governor, my Chairman of the Finance and Planning Committee, my PS, Dr. Chris Kipto was working with me here, and PS, Diaspora Affairs. I'm happy also to see Chairman KRA, the Deputy Governor, Nairobi County, and the latest entry into our team, Humphrey Watanga, the Commissioner General of the KRA. Distinguished guests, I'm very happy to be here. Sorry, I'm fighting this. It is much longer than it is supposed to be. It's my pleasure to be here this morning and to join His Excellency, the President, at this very, very important occasion on the launch of the Dow Central Securities Depository, Depository, the Dow CSD. And as a former central banker, I'm happy to be back home, but more importantly, to increase the diversity of the products that are going to enrich our market. The central banks in all emerging and frontier markets like Kenya are currently faced with significant headwinds arising from monetary policy tightening, especially in advanced economies, and more so the challenges that are posed by the supply-side shocks that have hit the economy for so many years now, accounting for years, especially starting with the drought last year and also the subsequent supply shocks. These supply-side shocks marked a very difficult season for central banks, given their mandate is to ensure price stability, but pressures from the supply side do require more than bringing the supplies back into the market, whereas the central bank use the demand-side tools. But I'm happy to note that given the interventions the central bank and the government have implemented, the Kenya sharing, the exchange rate is now stabilizing, and the Monetary Policy Committee has also taken measures to address inflation. This, together with measures implemented by the government to support increased agricultural output, have resulted into a decline in inflation to 6.7% from a high of 9.6%, as the governor mentioned. And we do expect this to be a declining trend on inflation, especially as we continue to see food supply coming back into the market, and even productivity and production increases in our farms, in our smallholder farms, and even larger farms. The global developments have drastically worsened the external financing conditions, and this has limited Kenya's access to external borrowing and even affected the domestic debt market liquidity. For this reason, the domestic borrowing targets, for example, for the financial year 2022-2023, was met with a lot of difficulties. But it's also a lesson for us so that we can come up with innovative solutions that can address the situations or even conditions as they arise. Consequently, for me, the rollout, and for the government, the rollout of the Dow CSD by the Central Bank of Kenya is a great milestone, as it will not only enhance the operational efficiency of the government domestic debt program, but also support the deepening of the domestic capital market. The launch of this system marks a major step in the government's efforts to promote local savings and investment. Allow me, Your Excellency, to once again congratulate the Central Bank for delivering a state-of-the-art system that conforms to the international best standards, but also in addition allows us to join some of the line products that have been produced at a very, very micro level, and we do believe that a combination of these mid-row and also micro level products is going to be quite productive for us and quite satisfying for us. Allow me also to recognize the role played by the World Bank, the National Bank of Georgia, and the market stakeholders in Kenya, commercial banks, investment banks, CMA, Nairobi Securities Exchange, KRA, and even IRA. Their input in the project has been invaluable. I also wish to acknowledge my colleagues from the National Treasury for their role in this important milestone. They are the most people who complain when domestic borrowing, or that is the market of public debt, does not work well because it affects them directly. So we have a stake here, and that stake is very, very important so that we take up any responsibility in future to make sure that we improve on this diversity of products that are flexible to the borrower, but they are also flexible in terms of providing the resources that we require. So this is your day, Your Excellency, to launch this product. So for me, it gives me a lot of pleasure and even singular honor to actually invite you to come and preside over this event, Your Excellency. Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Let's take our seats. CS National Treasury, CS Trade, my good friend, the Governor of the Central Bank. I was asking him outside here who the Governor of Central Bank is. And because he used to work for me on the other side until I lost him. Deputy Governor, distinguished friends, good afternoon. Occasions like this are very critical, not just because of the specific event we are here for, but also for the opportunity it affords us to remind one another of what we have set out to do and why we take the trouble to do it. And that is to review progress, achievements, and to reinforce our commitment to the journey of national transformation for the socio-economic advancement of all the people of our country. One of the fundamental commitments we made to the people of Kenya is to enlist every Kenyan in the task of nation building by opening up opportunities for citizens in their millions across the country to pursue engagements that enrich their lives and bring them closer to their aspirations by two primary means. The first one is to remove all the structural barriers to the contribution of the majority of our people and eliminate systemic obstacles to their participation at any level in all sectors. This is out of the realization that Kenyans are not only capable of meeting their needs and creating wealth through hard work, but they also aspire to contribute to the baking of a national cake large enough to feed all of us instead of just waiting for morsels distributed through sometimes adversarial, competitive, and untimely, and sometimes acrimonious political mechanisms, as we all know. The second is to facilitate millions of Kenyans to participate and make their contribution through innovative and transformative policies, programs, and projects that facilitate access to opportunity and to the means of turning these opportunities into incomes as a path to improve well-being and create wealth through savings and investments. And as I said yesterday, when I was somewhere in Meru, that the responsibility of nation building is first and foremost the collective responsibility of all of us as Kenyans. Each and every one of us, we need to ask ourselves the job of building Kenya. What is my contribution? Whatever it is, however small, however big, how am I making a contribution towards the nation that I belong to? Citizen of Kenya. And as we take the realization that it is our responsibility, first and foremost, and it is us who are going to build the country. And because it is us who are going to build the country, it is our effort, our energy, our sweat, our assets, our wealth that is going to build this country. And it is the reason why I have undertaken that this great effort by every Kenyan, their energy, their expertise, their resources, their contribution in whatever manner must be protected from the people who want to abuse it. That commitment to the people of Kenya, to make sure that their resources are looked after and they are not lost through wastage or theft or corruption or any manner of loss of public resources. Through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we have established various mechanisms to implement the commitments I have said. They include the implementation of large-scale employment creation programs in various sectors, including agriculture, housing, and the MSME ecosystem, or hustler economy, the digitization and automation of government services, promotion of the participation of youth and women, creation of financial mechanisms to enhance inclusion, and the provision of infrastructure that promotes access to digital technologies. At the foundation of these interventions is the principle that our economic system must be refined through transformation into an environment of opportunities and a tide that lifts all boats regardless of size, speed, shape, purpose, or build. In this context, this event is very significant. We are here to launch a very special boat set to sail into an operating agenda. It is appropriate that the boat we launch on this occasion represents the intersection of fundamental has been automated and digitized to enhance its security and to enable it to serve investors faster and much more efficiently. Additionally, the CST Investor Portal and the M-Akiba digital application have freed up access to the opportunity to invest and trade in government securities, enabling people of all walks of life to participate in the securities market, thereby facilitating a bottom-up growth of the sector, as has been explained by the many people who I saw in that little presentation state. Thirdly, the use of technology to enhance security, efficiency, transparency, and inclusion is a constant theme in the implementation of our programs, as you may well have seen, from making sure that we digitize all government services